Hi, I'm Sam and I'm here on behalf of J. James Cycles. Today we're going to do a field test on this bike. It's the Specialized Levo FSR 2018. We're just going to take it out on the trails, give it a quick blast. I'm going to give you a rundown of the specs of it a bit later and how it felt to me as a non-e-bike rider. I've never actually ridden an e-bike properly before, so that'll be fun. And the weather-wise, it's a bit muddy, a bit cold, so your typical British winter weather. So that's going to test the bike out really well as well. So I'll see you on the other side. Having never ridden an e-bike before, I was keen to find out how well the Levo could help me in my climbing. So I just headed straight for a hill that I knew I had previously struggled with. And as you can see from the footage, the hill may as well be a flat surface. I was actually sat down on this climb. The seat post was completely dropped. And I was blown away basically by the climbing capabilities of it. I even forgot that it was full suspension for a while. It just climbed really, really well, just like a hardtail. There's one thing this bike's designed for, is climbing. Even in gloopy weather like this where I'm going to have to cut corners, it makes climbing a breeze. And as you know, I'm no climber. The gearing on the bike is SRAM NX 11 speed. It works. It was perfectly faultless in the time I used it. No skipping gears, no problems whatsoever. Even without the motor on, I could easily climb small gradients, especially when I was pootling around. There's plenty of gears to choose from. And yeah, it would just, like I say, just worked perfectly fine. One really cool feature that I found even before I hit the trail was this auto sag by Specialized. You can see the instructions there on the shock, but basically what you do is you unscrew that black valve there, you put 275 psi into the shock, and then you sit on the bike. And this silver one here, you unscrew that and push it once, and that sets the exact pressure for your weight. Going down the trails is where this bike really comes into its own. The extra weight actually allowed me to go faster, and it really felt really planted on the trail. The tyres as well, the Plus tyres, they helped massively with the cushioning. Give me way more confidence to hit the trails, hit ruts that I would have just looked past and thought, nah, you know, I'm going around that. Even deep muddy sections, I could easily go through them without fear of losing any grip. One area I would say it was lacking on is the ability to jump. If you get enough speed, it's fine. In the air it feels a bit heavy and it tends to drop quite quickly. It's okay if you get used to it, but if, like me, it was the first time jumping it, it's a bit of a shock as the bike actually comes down and you're still in the air. So yeah, that's one area you'd have to work on if you do try this bike out, but if you're aware of it, then yeah, it's no problem. Let's test these jumps. Oh, that's nice. The motor used on the Levo gives out 250 watts of power. Make climbing really easy for me. In terms of the battery, it worked great. I had about 4 to 5 hours of riding on it, and it only used 2 of the lights. So basically when you charge it up, you've got a ring of lights, they're all green to show it's fully charged. And then obviously when you use the battery, some of these lights turn red. So we only had 2, which showed there was like loads of battery life left. The Levo, it runs a Reba RL fork, it's 150mm travel. It felt really smooth, really plush, ate everything out there on the trail, it was great. The frame itself is made out of M5 premium aluminium, felt really balanced. Even with the added motor, it just felt right, to be honest. Brakes. You got your SRAM Level T brakes. They were a bit of a shock when I first started using these because they've got a lot of bite. I mean, you do need it because it's an electric bike and you've got the extra weight, but they're easily the strongest brakes I've ever tried. Really, really strong. You get used to the modulation quite quickly though, so it wasn't too much of a problem. It's just the initial shock of how much bite they have. And as previously mentioned, the rear shock is a RockShox Monarch RT with the auto sag, which I found was amazing. It's a really cool feature. It literally took me about 3 minutes, if that, in the car park. Just got out of the car, set the shock up. It was brilliant. Well, as stated at the beginning of the video, this is my first real experience of riding an electric mountain bike, and despite the weight difference between the Levo and my bikes at home, it was a really fun and enjoyable experience. It's a really good, capable bike, and I felt that the fact it was an electric bike came second overall to the feel this bike has. It was fantastic on the trail. It felt planted, it carried a good amount of speed. I don't feel like it dragged at all, despite it having plus tyres, which I was a bit wary of, to be honest. In my opinion, Specialized done an amazing job, and the Levo feels like it's a normal trail bike without the advantage of an electric motor attached to it.